Hey everybody, this is Chris DeFurio from Keys to the Shop. Welcome to this edition of Shift Break, just a short little episode to give you some insights or tools to help you in your coffee journey. Now, before we get into the content today, I want to quickly mention something that I think is worth your time, and that's the AeroPress movie. It's a really great film that covers the invention of both the AeroPress by Alan Adler and the invention of the World AeroPress Championships by Tim Wendelboe. So it documents this rise of use of the AeroPress from inception to just a phenomenon that swept the barista community. And it's so beautifully done, easy to watch, entertaining, and it really makes you just want to brew coffee with an AeroPress. So I would highly encourage you, go watch AeroPress movie and find out more information about screenings that are happening near you or hosting a screening yourself at aeropressmovie.com. So today on Shift Break, I want to cover something that I like to cover in anytime I talk about management and advice that I would have for managers, in particular people who are working for owners who are very busy, which is pretty much all of you. One of the reasons why owners have managers is so that they can free themselves up to think of things that they wouldn't have been free to think of before. They want to work on the business and not necessarily in the business. You're always going to be working in the business in some regard, but the point is, they're focused on other things, the owners are, and manager's job is to help free up some time for the owner to strategize, set trajectory, set vision, big picture stuff. Not only that, but you get the point. But what I want to talk about today is clarifying your role and the expectations that owners have of you as the manager, because part of what happens as owners take on management is that they dump a lot of stuff into the lap of the manager, but it's usually pretty ambiguous. It doesn't really come with a job description sometimes. It just comes with can you take these tasks, do these chores, look after the schedule and inventory, and that's pretty much it. Then, later on in the year, what ends up happening is there are some missed expectations. The owner had some kind of expectation of the manager that they failed to communicate. And the manager is frustrated because they're not able to read the owner's mind. And so if you're in this position, if you're a manager, I would encourage you to really, on a regular basis, seek clarity more than you actually think is necessary. The reason why it's important for you to regularly clarify and ask for direction and details is because those type of things do fall through the cracks when owners are pulled in lots of different directions. Part of the thing that you do as a manager is not just managing the space and managing the people that work in the space, but it's also managing yourself and managing your boss. Just like that book I mentioned by Bruce Tulgan, who is our guest next week on the show. By the way, I look forward to that on this coming Tuesday. But Bruce is in that book talking about how to essentially help the owner out to give you what you need to do a good job. Because the reality is, we as a group of people working under the same roof, none of us has it 100% together. And if you want clarity, if you want details, and you want to know that you're working on the right thing, and not get surprised by disappointment later on in the year, then you're going to have an ongoing communicative relationship with your boss, even if it's something that you have to start yourself. I've definitely done this in the past where I've worked on something as a manager that I thought was super important, and it has benefited the company actually and done really great things for the company. It just wasn't what the owner of the company wanted. Lesson learned. After some conversations about that disappointment, it was helpful to be able to recalibrate and set myself on the right trajectory to do a better job in those things. You, just like the owner or anybody who has a lot to do, can let things slip. So just like Stephen Covey says, you want to make the main thing the main thing. Talk to the owner of a company. Make sure that they understand what your role entails. Make sure you understand what they expect from you and have an ongoing dialogue about this so that you don't get surprised and you can both be happy with the job that you do. So I hope that this episode was helpful for you. Flashback to the recommended books episode. Really, It's Okay to Manage Your Boss is a great book. I would recommend it. And I hope that you join us on the show this coming Tuesday on the 5th because Bruce is going to be talking with us about his book, The 27 Challenges Managers Face. So thank you very much for joining me. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope to have you back next week for another edition of Shift Break, from Keys to the Shop.